Another year, another Samsung Galaxy phone. The S25 Ultra just released, and Samsung is flexing hard with this one. With a sleek new design, some slight camera tweaks, and of course, AI. But this all sounds very familiar, doesn't it? So let's find out if this phone is actually Ultra or just ultra expensive. Let's start with the brand new design. Samsung has taken a page out of Apple's book this year, which means stealing their design. The sides of the phone are now flat, while they used to be a bit rounded off. Samsung was already doing this with the base S24 and S24 Plus, but now the Ultra got it as well. I did have to get used to this a bit since I didn't like the sharp edges of iPhones, but after a couple of days I actually quite like it. They also killed the square design that it took from the Galaxy Note series, which quite a lot of people might miss. But it does make the phone look new and fresh. It's also very sturdy, but that was the case with the previous 4 phones as well. I'm sure this thing has amazing build quality, but I'm not gonna drop test it or anything. Need I remind you of the price? Which brings us to the display. Like I said before, it's now rounded off instead of square and fully 100% flat. So no more edging here, folks. A lot of people have said they like this, but I actually miss the long edges of the old devices, as it made them look really cool and futuristic. Now, Samsungs have always had the best displays on any phones ever, and it's no exception for this one. It hasn't really changed from the S24 Ultra, but that's not a bad thing. I cannot find a single bad thing about this screen. It even still has the anti-reflective coating that came with the S24 Ultra, which I really enjoyed. There's genuinely a huge advantage to this coating. You can easily see the difference when it's compared to other phones. Other than that, it's bright, it's high resolution, it's smooth, and it's just great. And that's a good quick description of this phone in general. Great. The cameras are simply the best you will find on any phone right now. For taking photos, we'll get to video later. You see that sign in the distance there? You want to see it better? Well, just zoom into it, and you can actually see it better than with your own eye. I use this phone's camera more like a tool than an actual camera at sometimes. I mean, zooming into stuff just never gets old. You see, I live in a forest in Western Europe, so sometimes you'll see squirrels or hawks moving around in the trees. And with this guy, I can easily capture that experience from far away. So I can flex on all my friends with my living location. Okay, enough about the zoom lens already. I can understand if you're getting tired of that after 5 Ultra phones. The main shooter is simply top notch. The ability to shoot in 12 megapixels, 50 megapixels, or 200 megapixels gives it unmatched versatility. 12 megapixels just looks great in pretty much every situation, dark or bright. But when you want a very detailed picture, the 200 megapixel mode is just crazy. You do need a well-lit environment for it to look any good, and it takes a while to capture, but this is the best landscape imaging phone you can possibly have. Compared to last year, the ultra-wide lens is now 50 megapixels instead of 12 megapixels, but I don't really see the difference between this one and the older one, which again will be a recurring theme in this review. But with video footage, it did improve quite a lot in some places. Nighttime video is now a lot better. It's crisper and uses some clever tricks to make the footage look better. The phone actually separates moving and static objects in the frame and processes them differently. This helps a lot with grainy or overprocessed footage, which the S24 Ultra did suffer from in the dark. And switching to different lenses is now also a lot smoother on the S25 Ultra, and not twitchy and glitchy like with the previous phones. So you can record in 4K 60 FPS on all the lenses and switch seamlessly between them. And here's the best part: bigger number better. The S25 Ultra comes with the new Snapdragon 8 Elite 4 Galaxy chip. This chip is faster than last year's chip. What a surprise, right? In Call of Duty Mobile, it ran at a stable 120 FPS without any frame drops really. The same goes for PUBG Mobile, where again, it runs at 120 FPS without any frame drops. And in Genshin Impact, it runs at a stable 60 FPS. Again, with no frame drops. So to no one's surprise, this thing is very good at gaming. It just feels smooth and fast in regular use as well. There's no hiccups or freezes anywhere. But again, that was the case with the S24 Ultra as well. If you're coming from a budget phone though, this guy will make your old phone feel like a potato. What did change though was the software. One UI 7 is Samsung's newest update and it looks very cool and sleek. Everything's a bit more rounded off and looks a bit more polished. And the icons had a graphical rehaul as well, and I really like this decision. Everything just looks a bit more lively now. They did take another page out of Apple's book though, again meaning they stole it. And now when you swipe down from the right of the screen, it shows your quick settings. And when you swipe down from the left side of the screen, it shows your notifications. I didn't really have a problem with the way it worked before, but I guess it's nice. You can just turn this off though. But some stuff is literally a carbon copy of iOS. I mean, look at this panel. Tell me this isn't from an Apple keynote for the new iOS version. I mean, come on guys, a little originality is nice. Why does everything have to look the same now? And keep in mind, the S24 Ultra is getting all this stuff as well, so it's not really a point of talking about it in this review. They also added a lot of AI. Please God, just stop with the AI marketing. I'm so tired of this crap. Regardless of how many buzzwords they throw at you, the new AI features are pretty cool. For example, when you take a video, you can edit it later and turn down certain audio stuff. So for example, if you're recording yourself with the AC on in the background, you can specifically turn that AC noise down in post-processing. What's going on? Today I'm testing the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. What's going on? Today I'm testing the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. This can sound a little robotic at times when there's a lot of noise in the background, but most of the time it's pretty great. And remember, AI isn't magic, regardless of what the marketing team might want you to believe. There's also a bunch of other AI stuff that they added, but I don't use that stuff and I don't really care. Which brings us to battery life. The S24 Ultra had very good battery life. It easily lasted over 6 to 7 hours of intensive use while using 4G data. And the S25 Ultra was very similar, if not better. It easily lasted a full day and had a screen on time of about 7 to 8 hours, which is even a bit better than the S24 Ultra. So, conclusion time. How can I describe this phone in one sentence? It's pretty, and pretty much the same phone as last year. Okay, but seriously, this is an amazing phone. It looks very good, it has an awesome display, it has awesome cameras, it has awesome software, it has awesome battery life. Everything is just good, very, very good. But this is also the case with the S24 Ultra. And this is also the case with the S23 Ultra. And this is also the case with the S22 Ultra. And this is also the case with the S21 Ultra. But it did get a little faster. Okay, seriously now. This is the best phone out right now. Or if you're an iPhone user, on par with the newest iPhone 16 Pro Max. So is it worth it? Well, not anymore. You missed all of the pre-order bonuses, you dummy. Now you have to buy it at $1.5 grand, which is just stupidly expensive for a phone. I'm gonna enjoy the shit out of this guy for the price that I got it though. And anyone else that buys it will enjoy it a lot as well. That's all for today, folks. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.